Welcome to Up Next, our regular Rovers Roundtable, reflecting on the weekend victory at Widnes and looking ahead to the doubleheader this coming weekend here at Post Office Road as the women take on Bradford and the men are up against Dewsbury, in the company therefore of the women's head coach Marie Colley, Craig Kopczak, the Rovers prop forward, and new-ish winger Tom Lineham, who is alongside me. In fact, the only player involved, so let's start there at the weekend against Widnes. I felt afterwards that was like a playoff game in terms of its intensity and how you had to dig it out. What was it like to play?
Yeah, it's obviously a tough place to go, Widnes, obviously with the artificial pitch. We didn't have the best start to the game, pretty error-stricken, but I thought the team showed character, obviously to pull the win out in the end. Could have gone either way. I thought Widnes played really well, but yeah, it was a tough performance, you know, not our best day, but obviously you can take confidence from the victory and hopefully stepping stone in the right direction as we push on towards the playoffs.
And what did Brian say after you? Afterwards, we should whisper because he's just doing some training or video work in there. But speaking to Rovers TV, very very positive was Brian. He's kind of that's much more like it. Was the vibe? What was he like?
Yeah, obviously we just did a few things at half time, and them changes obviously worked, and we were a lot more had a lot more success, you know, playing in behind the rope, playing with a bit less less creative tactics and more just, you know, get up the field, run hard, carry well, push support, and it was more effective. And when we ground out a tough win, you know, obviously it's a results-based industry and a win's a win, and sometimes you've got to win ugly, and that was pretty ugly but rewarding in the end.
Greg, you've been on the sideline recently. What you like as an observer? How much do you miss being out there in the middle?
Terrible. Yeah, it's been killing me watching. You know, I've been playing and then out, in and out, in and out. So yeah, it's been a real struggle for me personally. But you know, hopefully, fingers crossed, you know, back with a bang.
Yeah, how are you? How are you fitness-wise? I'm sure that the fans will want to know when they're going to see you back out there.
Yeah, well, initially I thought I was done for the season, but went to see some other people and got some good news, and that I can go back out there and, you know, put my boots back on and try and help this team, you know, get promoted. So hopefully it might be back this weekend. Fingers crossed. Brian lets me play, and yeah, we'll go from there.
He's actually just wandered past. I think he ignored that comment. We'll come back to the promotion push. We're at the business end of the season for you, Marie, as well. What kind of season has it been for the women's team?
Yeah, we've had a bit of a rollercoaster of a season, to be fair. We started out quite well in Challenge Cup early rounds, got to the semi-final of that. We hit the ground running in the season, and then we've come across a couple of hurdles towards the last couple of games, which have hit us quite hard, to be honest. We were looking for a top 2 finish, which we don't think we'll quite get, but we're still in the playoffs, so competition for the final is still there.
And the competition across the board, I think a lot of people are still learning just how competitive the women's game is. What are you finding out about your team as the season evolves?
Yeah, they're starting to show some real character about them now, and you know, against Warrington at the weekend, they're the best side in the comp at the moment, and we really took it to them. And at half time we were 12-6 down. After 16 minutes, the game just got away from us a little bit. So you know, we're just pushing on to dig deep for the last 20 minutes now of games, and that will come. We've thrown together a side of, I mean, we played our 35th woman on Sunday. So we've thrown together a side of players that some of them haven't worked together at all this year. So, you know, when you look at that in comparison, I think we've done pretty well.
We'll look at the doubleheader in a second. Really looking forward to that, especially if the weather's like this this weekend, although not great weather to play in, I'm sure. If the women have had a rollercoaster season, how do you sum up the men's season so far, Craig?
Yeah, a bit similar, to be fair. You know, we started the season off and the friendlies, you know, like a house on fire. We've had a few blips along the road, you know, a few injuries have now started to creep in, but now we're at the business end where people are starting to come back as well. So this is like the crunch time now, really. We've got, 5 weeks now to the playoffs. So I know it's a big push, you know, for the playoffs ourselves. So yeah, I think Tom will say the same. You know, it's just, you know, he's quite fresh to it. It's been up and down, but like I said, now is the right time to start getting them combinations together with people back on the field and really pushing on now.
Yeah, what have you made coming in here? Obviously, you come in with bags of experience, like Craig has, and you played at the very top level and used to competing in finals. You won't have come here to stay in the Championship, will you? So what have you made of your early weeks here?
Yeah, no, I've really enjoyed it. Obviously, it's a very ambitious club. They want the goal of getting to Super League, and it's about the journey, isn't it? And coming in here just before, because I've been here about 3 or 4 weeks now, so you'd probably have 10 weeks before the playoffs, pushing on for that, the big illustrious game, the £1 million game. And you know, there's a lot of great experienced players, and then you've got some good young ones as well. And for me, it's just been a bit eye-opening that, you know, you've got some lads come in who were part of the hybrid group who are full time, then you've got other lads who come in, you know, with soot on their face because they've been on a roof all day. So it's been eye-opening, but a good experience. I'm enjoying working with Brian. I'd heard plenty of stories before, so I love working with different coaches and characters. And I think no matter how old you are now, I'm turning 31 next month, but you're still learning. And if you can mix with players who've obviously all levels of experience and coaches who've been there and done that, it's good to be, and it can only make you better as a player and a person.
And what's the standard been like? Obviously, you've dropped down a little bit. Lee are the pace setters at the moment. How far do you feel that Fev are off Lee at the moment?
Lee are very good, aren't they? They're a very, very good team. They've got a lot of overseas players, you know, who are very talented, and obviously it's a bit of a different. The rules very weird, isn't it? How you only get so many quota spots in Super League to what you get here. So effectively, you could have a better team in the Championship than you would in Super League. But I think both teams. I think I've said this from Featherstone and Lee. I think they could both compete in Super League, and especially with a few additions as well. I don't think the step down's too different. And then playing the Championship I'd played it before when I'd started with York, and then I'd done spells at Rochdale as well. So it's kind of just not as expansive, and it's a bit more ruck control, so you haven't got the speed around the ruck so much. But you know, it's very physical, very aggressive. And I said when my first game against Whitehaven, the first 10 minutes, you just had these madmen flying out, giving everything, just trying to, you know, the aggression and the pure, like they just wanted to take someone's head off. And then after 10 minutes, they were knackered, and it quieted down a bit. But that 10 minutes was very intense. So yeah, no, I'm enjoying it.
It's interesting, as you know, a guy who's gone past 30 still learning about himself. Are you feeling the same, Craig?
Yeah, all the time. Yeah, Tom's still quite young, isn't he? So yeah, being 35 myself, you know, I'm always still learning. You learn different things all the time. Every time you come in to training, you're probably learning something new. You know, I've got a big career behind me, and I've always come to training always wanting to learn as well. So it's never going to stop for me, you know, the older I get.
You feel, or you know, you are one of the leaders in this team, both, you know, the way you conduct yourself on the pitch and off it. You're part of that leadership group. Do you feel that responsibility to try and achieve what everyone around this club has set out to do and be very vocal about wanting to do from the start of the season? Yeah,
100%. You know, we're here for one reason, and that's to get this club into Super League, and I think everyone knows that as well, not just me. But you know, I'm going to be trying my best out on that field to reinforce that message, and hopefully we can start picking up the performances and getting them wins what we need.
And how has that been, Marie, for the women's team this year, being part of these double headers and, you know, sharing the facilities and being part of this whole thing with the drive that the men's team has to try and get into Super League? Has that kind of had some rollover and impact on the job that you're trying to do as well?
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's fantastic when you can, you know, get some fans down and watch the girls' game and watch it grow, you know. The men have been fantastic in and around the barn and things, making the girls feel welcome. We've had Pato in on board doing a session or two for us, you know. So when you've got the appreciation of the club and it works both ways, you know, the girls come down and support the fellas when we're not playing or training and stuff, you know. So I think it's really good that we form them bonds, and you know, it's great double headers, especially Sunday. You know, that will be a big occasion for both teams, with hopefully a big crowd in front, you know, on a sunny day. So yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah, a word on the crowds, and we'll come back to that in a few minutes when we wrap up. But you know, how much does that lift you in terms of being part of the double headers when the crowd is, as we know it is here, you know, so full of voice, so passionate, and there for both the men's team and the women's team?
Yeah, the crowd is very vocal, and that's fantastic. And I think it's like having an extra player on the field at times when, you know, they're really digging into opposition and into referees. It gives you an extra bit of energy, I think, you know, and the girls really welcome that, so, you know, it's a benefit for us.
And have you noticed much change yet in terms of the community and women wanting to be involved in women's rugby league? Obviously, there's the real hope that what the football team achieved recently in the Euros is going to have a knock-on effect into other sports as well. Have you seen much progress in that side of things in the job that you are trying to do?
Yeah, I mean, obviously you're always looking to improve your standards and bring in quality, you know, additions, and, you know, across the women's game that's getting better all the time, and there's more girls joining community clubs, which then gives you the ability to go out and scout these players and, you know, keep the relationship with the community club as well, so they still play for the community clubs, but then when they get the opportunity to play for the women's team, then, you know, that's a big step up for them, and we've had some young girls do that from just down road at Lions. You know, to come into this squad and step up and play some game this year, which they actually wouldn't have expected to play, you know, it benefits them massively to be around a stronger professional group of girls.
Let's talk then for a few minutes about Sunday. We've got the double header. You guys are playing Dewsbury before that, Featherstone women against Bradford Bulls. And as Craig says, Tom, it's kind of the countdown now, isn't it? It's the business end. Yes, this is a league game, it's a home league game, you want to win every game, but does this feel now like every game is vital? Because yes, it's a league game, but it's part of this end of season chunk that you need to be firing in every single minute of every single game.
Yeah, so you've got your end of season goal, which is obviously to get promoted, and then now as you approach the playoffs, the business end of the year, you want to be progressing and getting better every week. We've had some good performances and some not so good performances, so it's part obviously when you're coming in on the training field, putting things in practice, so each week you get better than the last, building laying the foundation so you can put really good performances in at the end of the year and hopefully cause an upset and be the first part of the first group to take a part-time club in Super League, which would be astronomical.
So how much do you look forward to playing here? I don't know how many you'll have played here yet. You know, you've had a handful.
I've played a few away games. Yeah, well, there's Featherstone, obviously a very passionate local crowd, and I've always enjoyed coming down here. We came here when a friend was at Wakefield and obviously got beat, so there's a few hecklers. I've actually got a train driver called Lewis Heaps, who I went to college with. He's a Featherstone fan, so he's hammered me for years, and now I'm at Featherstone. I might finally be able to get one side, but it's a passionate crowd, good local people who want to see. He was in that stand when he was abusing me when I was playing for Wakefield. So obviously, good passionate fans who want to see their town do well.
Can you hear that kind of thing when you're on the pitch? Can you hear like
timing's everything? Timing.
Can you actually hear what people
timing.
say?
So sometimes, obviously, in the moment, if you can block. Let's say there's a high ball up, I'm just concentrating on the ball. But say there's a dropout and I'm talking to the linesman, then I can hear it. So the key to being a profound heckler is timing.
How much do you still love playing? Not playing generally, but playing here, Craig?
Yeah, it's like Tom says, it's amazing. The atmosphere is great when it's packed out, and when the sun's out as well. I just look forward to seeing them lads over there swinging their shirts round and singing away and banging away. And like I say, it does give you that extra lift when you're out on the field. It gives you that extra edge on the opponent. So if we can get that again this weekend, then that'd be great.
Yeah, what do you want to get out of this coming weekend? Presumably you want to play first of all, but what is it you want to see? Continued improvement? Is there anything specific that you're kind of looking for?
Yeah, it's just a whole team performance. Putting in the whole 80 minutes really. We do it in patches at the moment, but we need to put it in the whole 80 minutes. We can't just be doing it here and there. And if we want to beat Lee, we need to be an 80-minute performance, and that's what we need starting to do it now at this business end. Yeah.
Is it all about that at the moment? Kind of every game you play, even Dewsbury at home. Is it all building towards how do we beat Lee? Is
Definitely,
is that what it is?
People can say otherwise, but we all know, if we're being honest, it's all about that £1 million game against Lee and causing a massive upset and doing something, making history. So yeah, every week you've got that at the back of your mind. Obviously, you don't disrespect the opponents each week, and you've got a job to go out there and do that. But that's all part of the pathway towards the end goal.
Interesting choice of words, massive upset. Would it be a massive upset to beat Lee? I'm sure they'd be favourites, but would it be a massive upset?
I'd say so, yeah, just because they are a full-time squad. They've put a lot more money in than this club. they've got big international players in there as well. And like Tom said, we've got lads coming in with all over the face and working all hours, and you know that would be one of the, for me as well personally, it would be one of the highlights of my career. You know, to get this club into Super League. You know, what an achievement that'd be.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing the fans would absolutely love, I'm sure, to hear how much it means to you, Guy, of your experience in your career. We mentioned with Marie how much the doubleheaders mean to the women's team. Is it different for you guys when you walk in here and you're already set up and game day's already going on? Does that kind of give you a lift before you even start? The fact that it's does it feel any different, any more special?
I think everyone's different, but yeah, I like to watch. Back in the days when there used to be reserves playing before, and it does give you that atmosphere, that feeling, and then you go into the changing rooms and you start getting buzzed up and ready. I think everyone's different, but for me personally, I like that atmosphere before.
So what does this weekend hold for the women? Obviously Bradford here, is that a game you would be confident of winning?
I'd like to say confident, but with our squad changes over the last few weeks, we haven't been able to field the same 17 since start of season, so chop and change week in, week out. So to find some consistency in performance would probably be what we'd be aiming for. It's a big 2 points, and 2 points we've got to get on the board. It's also a Nat Harrowell Memorial Cup for us, so there's a cup on the line as well as the 2 points. Although the 2 points are what we're really aiming for, the cup obviously means so much to the club. So it's a win-win if we can come away with that.
So another reason for fans to come down. And what kind of coach what you like as a coach? I keep seeing Brian McDermott prowling round menacingly. Are you that kind of coach?
I think people might say I'm a little bit different. I'm quite understanding and logical with stuff, but at the same time I can see smoke coming out of my ears a little bit. So yeah, I think it just depends what kind of day you've got, what you're building up into, the performance that you're looking for, the players that you've got around you on that day. Each player's different. Some need an arm round, some need a little bit of a telling off. So it's getting the balance right and understanding your players. Yeah,
it's that player management, isn't it? That is such a skill for head coaches. Listen, we'll wrap up shortly because the day's beautiful and I know we all want to enjoy the weather, but the doubleheader, we'd love to see all the fans down for both games at Post Office Road this Sunday. So if I ask you all for a reason, a rallying cry to the fans to come down, why should supporters come through the turnstiles, Tom, this Sunday?
30 degrees in it. You've got some lovely bars behind the stand there. The live band will be playing well at the show. They'll hide a live band in.
Don't be asking me, I don't put the bands.
Beers in the sun, good brand of rugby, 2 games, what more do you want?
There you are, you can go straight into event management after this. How about you, Marie? What would you say to fans thinking, what should we do on a Sunday?
Yeah, exactly. Forget your Sunday dinners, get down, get some beers in and watch 2 cracking games. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, echo what both have just said there. It's going to be a great day with the weather and get a few beers down in Nick and watch some great rugby. And, let's really start this journey with the fans as well and really push on to getting that final spot put up in Super League.
Thank you, all 3 of you, for your time in the sunshine, Craig, Marie and Tom as well. You are relieved of your duties and we hope to see you this Sunday here at Post Office Road, and we'll catch up with you on Up Next time. Thanks for watching.